Welcome to the Athletics Collective. I'm here with Coach Lawrence. He is the head coach of the wrestling program here at Sullivan. Coach, tell me a little bit about your thoughts on the season as we've kind of had some time to reflect upon the season. Tell me a little bit more about that. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was a good season. You run into issues throughout the season dealing with weight and injuries and things like that. But by the time it was all said and done, we walked away with the state hardware and got a couple of team plaques. So that's always good. But all in all, I think it was a great season.
That's great. And I know you have the girls program, the boys program. What was the record, if you can remember, for each of those kind of throughout the season there?
Well, on the girls' side, we didn't win a whole lot of duels because we only had 7 girls. So, the duel process goes off your actual lineup. Head-to-head, we won most of those duels, though. They would win most of their matches. I mean that by saying head-to-head. For the boys, we went 14-6. The girls, I think we ended up walking away with 5 dual wins out of several duels. But like I said, going back to the numbers thing, that can be an issue as far as getting dual wins. So not bad, and when you're dealing with a team like that, you're kind of hoping to win the head-to-head matches and walk away with the W's. So for the most part, they did that.
Of course. And so kind of as you look back, what are some areas you think you guys could have improved on as a whole? Boys and girls combined, what was there some areas maybe you can be better for the next year coming up?
I think we put things in place to kind of make us better for the next season. I added a lot of varsity tournaments for the JV side of things because in the state of Missouri, it seems like the JV wrestling tournaments are kind of falling off the map. And I know it's hard for a lot of programs to have enough numbers to keep a JV squad and a varsity squad and a girls squad and all those things. And again, with the girls' numbers, we didn't have any JV wrestlers, so they were all wrestling varsity events. But we implemented a lot of 2-day tournament, we had multiple tournaments going on in the same day. So we have JV going to a varsity tournament and our varsity going to a varsity tournament. So those JV kids getting varsity matches. They got the most matches they've ever had in program history on the JV side of things. I think they walked away with around 40 matches on the JV side, which is phenomenal, and not all JV tournaments. So they're seeing varsity caliber athletes, and then by next season, they'll be a little more used to the varsity side of things. As far as trial and error things, I think we could find a couple of ways of getting more drill-specific things for girls. It is a challenging time since I'm running both programs, and we're kind of limited on time and space, but finding more drill-specific things for them and more drill-specific things for the boys in the areas that they need, catering to where people are as a wrestling level.
Of course.
So,
of course, that makes sense. Totally. And so kind of where are some areas now where you guys think you did really well this season that you can kind of build off for the next year?
I would say adjusting with anything that comes in front of their path. With the sport of wrestling, you're not just dealing with the game, and a lot of people don't even consider it a game. We don't say we're playing wrestling. It's a very serious combat sport. I think the way we adjusted with things this year, not just with, weight and sickness, weather, you always have cancellations and, getting my athletes to understand that you have to be unfazed with those kinds of things and be able to make adjustments throughout your season as far as how the schedule goes and just expect the unexpected. I felt like we really rocked that this year. And, years prior, things like that, we have a cancellation. That messes with athletes' heads. They're already on a, diet plan and, calculating where they need to be days before we get to an event. So when something gets canceled, that's a big shock to their system. They can then eat what they want for a little bit and then go back to the diet later. But I felt like we stayed pretty consistent with all the setbacks that you can run into, injuries, sickness. The sickness was pretty bad this year, skin funks and things like that. I felt like the team as a whole handled that extremely well.
That's great to hear for sure. And so that kind of leads me, what's kind of been your favorite thing about coaching Sullivan Wrestling so far as a coach?
Me personally, my favorite thing is, and I do this every year, whenever we have our takedown hunger duels here at the high school and we have a canned food drive, I like to look up and see the crowd. When I wrestled here in high school, we had our duels in the commons area, and you were lucky if your parents were there, and it was just so new back then. And to see what it's evolved into, I've been heavily involved with the youth program and growing all those things. We have so many kids wrestling nowadays. It's the numbers are just great, but then just seeing what it's evolved to every year. We see more and more fans, people that I knew back in the day, never seen it before, watching it and cheering and getting excited about it. That's probably my favorite thing about this whole process. Obviously, I love the sport and watching the kids scrap out there, but the growth of it has been huge.
Love to hear it, Coach. Love to hear it. And walk me through a little bit of your past career with wrestling. I know you were an excellent wrestler in high school. Did you continue after high school? What's kind of, how'd that go for you?
Yeah, I started my freshman year in high school. Again, it was new around here. I think we started our programs in 2001. I came up to the Sullivan High School in 2005. I ended up walking away with all-state honors as a wrestler. I got a scholarship to go wrestle at Missouri Valley College. Ended up becoming a national finalist. I was a 4-time national qualifier and a national finalist All-American. So I really got into it. And then I also did a lot of university stuff, off-season wrestling, and let it take me other places. But, that's kind of my background with it.
Great.
So.
And how is that, the last question I have for you is, how does that perspective differ being from a wrestler to now coaching that? How's that different for you?
It was really hard the first couple of years that I came back here as an assistant coach. And I had, the head coach at the time had told me, he said, I think you're going to struggle with this the most is you're not able to go out there and wrestle the match, and that was kind of challenging. But I think I like the process of seeing these kids get the success that they're getting now more than I enjoyed my own process, But I did have some challenges with that. I mean, I would get a little worked up in the corner, wish I could go out and help you out, but you just can't. So I think that would probably be the biggest difference for me. And obviously over the years, I've kind of gotten away from that. And I really enjoy the process of working with these athletes, training them up and making sure they're peaking at the right times.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Coach, for what you're doing for the program.
No problem,
thank you for being with us today.
Yep. Thank you.